Most people think successful people are fearless. They think winners never doubt themselves, never struggle, never feel tired. But that's not true. The difference is not that successful people never feel like quitting. The difference is they don't quit early. See, average people stop the moment things become uncomfortable. They stop when results are slow. They stop when nobody claps for them. But successful people understand something powerful. Growth is painful before it becomes profitable. And the reason most dreams die is not because people aren't talented. It's because they give up too soon. So today, I want to talk about why successful people never quit early and how developing this one mindset can completely transform your future. Because sometimes the breakthrough you're praying for is hiding behind the struggle you're trying to escape. Successful people understand something that most people try to avoid. Pain is not always a bad thing. In fact, pain is often the beginning of growth. Every successful person you admire has gone through moments of discomfort, sacrifice, pressure, rejection, and struggle before reaching the level people now celebrate. The difference is that they accepted the pain early instead of running away from it. Most people want success without discomfort. They want confidence without failure, strength without struggle, and results without patience. But life does not work that way. The growth demands pressure. Discipline demands sacrifice. Dreams demand consistency. Successful people realize this earlier than everyone else. They stop asking, "Why is this hard?" and start asking, "What is this teaching me?" Pain is uncomfortable because it forces people to change. Waking up early when everyone else is sleeping feels painful. Staying focused while others are wasting time feels painful. Working on your goals without immediate results feels painful. But successful people know that temporary pain creates permanent strength. They are willing to suffer now so they can live differently later. Most people quit because they think pain means they are failing. Successful people see pain as proof that they are growing. When they feel tired, they continue. When they feel rejected, they improve. When they fail, they learn. They do not allow emotions to control their direction. They understand that difficult moments are part of the process, not signs to stop. Think about athletes who train for years before winning championships. Their bodies suffer daily exhaustion. Think about entrepreneurs who lose money, face criticism, and work long nights before becoming successful. Think about students who sacrifice entertainment and comfort to build a better future. None of these people avoided pain. They embraced it because they understood that comfort rarely creates greatness. Comfort zones are dangerous because they make people feel safe while keeping them stuck. A comfortable life may feel good today, but it slowly destroys potential. Successful people are willing to leave comfort behind because they know that growth only happens when people challenge themselves. They willingly choose difficult paths because easy paths rarely lead to extraordinary lives. Pain also builds mental strength. Every challenge teaches resilience. Every setback teaches patience. Every difficult moment teaches discipline. Successful people become stronger because they stop escaping hardship. Instead of blaming life, they develop the ability to adapt and continue moving forward. The truth is that everyone experiences pain. The difference is that unsuccessful people suffer without purpose, while successful people suffer with purpose. One person complains about struggle, while another uses that same struggle to become stronger. One person quits after rejection, while another becomes more determined because of it. Pain is temporary, but the lessons learned from pain can last forever. The habits built during difficult moments create confidence, discipline, and endurance. Successful people know that if they can survive uncomfortable seasons, they can handle bigger responsibilities and bigger opportunities in the future. They understand that every level of success requires a new level of sacrifice. That is why they embrace pain early while others spend their lives running away from it. Motivation feels powerful in the beginning. It gives people excitement, energy, and hope. It makes people want to start new goals, chase dreams, and imagine a better future. But motivation is temporary. Some days people feel inspired, and other days they feel tired, distracted, or emotionally drained. If success depended only on motivation, most people would never achieve anything meaningful because emotions constantly change. Successful people understand that discipline is far more reliable than motivation. They do not wait to feel ready before taking action. They build habits that force them to move forward even when they do not feel excited. They know that feelings are unstable, but discipline creates consistency. Most people only work hard when they feel motivated. They go to the gym when they feel inspired. They work on goals when they feel energetic. They stay focused only when life feels easy. The problem is that difficult days always come. There are mornings when energy disappears, confidence becomes weak, and excuses become louder. That is the moment discipline becomes important. Discipline means showing up even when emotions tell you not to. It means continuing the work when nobody is watching. It means staying committed long after the excitement disappears. Successful people know that real growth happens during the moments when quitting feels easier than continuing. A disciplined person understands that small daily actions create massive long-term results. Reading a few pages every day may not feel important at first, but over time it creates knowledge and wisdom. Exercising consistently may not show immediate results, but it slowly transforms the body and mind. Working on goals daily may feel repetitive, but repetition creates mastery. Motivation often depends on external things. People feel motivated after watching videos, hearing speeches, or seeing quick success. But external motivation fades quickly. Discipline comes from internal commitment. It is a decision to continue regardless of mood, fear, or temporary struggle. Successful people create routines because routines reduce dependence on emotions. They train themselves to act automatically. They wake up at certain times, follow schedules, and stay focused because discipline turns important actions into habits. Once something becomes a habit, it no longer requires constant motivation. Discipline also separates professionals from amateurs. Amateurs work when convenient. Professionals work because they made a commitment. A disciplined person understands that success is not built in one dramatic moment. It is built in quiet moments of consistency repeated every single day. There will always be distractions. Social media, entertainment, comfort, and laziness constantly pull people away from their goals. Motivation is usually too weak to fight these distractions for long periods of time. Discipline creates control. It teaches people how to focus on what matters instead of what feels easy. Successful people are not always confident or excited. Sometimes they feel exhausted. Sometimes they doubt themselves. Sometimes progress feels painfully slow, but discipline allows them to continue moving forward even during uncertainty. They understand that temporary emotion should never control permanent goals. The strongest people are not those who feel motivated every day. The strongest people are those who continue even when motivation disappears completely. They have trained their minds to obey commitment instead of comfort. Discipline creates trust within yourself. Every time a person keeps a promise to themselves, confidence grows stronger. Every time they continue despite difficulty, mental strength increases. Over time, disciplined people become unstoppable because they no longer depend on perfect emotions to take action. Successful people know that motivation can start a journey, but only discipline can finish it. Failure is something most people fear deeply. The moment they fail, they begin doubting themselves, questioning their abilities, and assuming they are not good enough. Many people see failure as proof that they should stop trying. But successful people see failure differently. They understand that failure is not the opposite of success. Failure is part of the journey towards success. Every successful person has failed more times than most people realize. Before achieving greatness, they experience rejection, mistakes, embarrassment, and disappointment. The difference is that they refuse to let failure define them. Instead of seeing failure as an ending, they treated it as feedback. Most people want success to happen quickly and smoothly. They expect immediate results, and when things go wrong, they lose confidence. But success rarely happens without setbacks. Failure teaches lessons that success often cannot teach. It reveals weaknesses, exposes bad habits, and forces people to improve. Without failure, growth becomes impossible. Think about a child learning how to walk. Falling is part of the process. No child learns perfectly on the first attempt. They fall again and again, but eventually they learn balance and strength. Life works the same way. Failure is often proof that someone is trying, learning, and growing. Successful people understand that every mistake contains valuable information. When something does not work, they analyze the situation instead of complaining about it. They ask themselves what went wrong, what can improve, and how they can become better next time. This mindset transforms failure into progress. Fear of failure keeps many people trapped in average lives. They avoid risks because they are afraid of embarrassment or criticism. They never start businesses, chase dreams, or try new opportunities because they fear making mistakes. But successful people accept that failure is unavoidable when chasing something meaningful. Failure also builds emotional strength. People who never struggle often become weak when life becomes difficult. But those who experience failure learn patience, resilience, and endurance. They develop the ability to recover from setbacks instead of breaking under pressure. Some of the greatest inventions, companies, and achievements in history were created after repeated failure. Inventors failed thousands of times before discovering successful solutions. Athletes lost countless games before becoming champions. Writers faced rejection before publishing best-selling books. Success is usually built on a foundation of failures that taught important lessons. Unsuccessful people often take failure personally. They think one mistake means they are worthless. Successful people separate failure from identity. They understand that failing at something does not make them failures as human beings. It simply means the process is not complete yet. Failure also teaches humility. It reminds people that growth requires continuous learning. Nobody becomes great instantly. There is always room to improve, adapt, and become wiser. Successful people stay open to learning because failure keeps them grounded and focused. Many people quit too early because they misunderstand struggle. They believe successful people achieve goals without obstacles. But behind every achievement is a story filled with mistakes, sacrifices, and painful lessons. The journey becomes powerful not because it is easy, but because people continue despite difficulty. The people who achieve extraordinary things are usually not the ones who avoid failure. They are the ones who become stronger because of it. Every setback gives them experience. Every rejection sharpens their mindset. Every difficult moment prepares them for bigger opportunities. Failure is not a wall blocking success. It is a staircase leading toward it. Patience is one of the most powerful qualities successful people develop, yet it is also one of the rarest. Most people want instant results. They want success immediately, recognition quickly, and rewards without waiting. The modern world has trained people to expect fast outcomes. Everything is available instantly. Entertainment, information, communication. And because of this, many people lose the ability to stay committed to long-term goals. Successful people understand that meaningful success takes time. They know that real growth happens slowly, often in silence, long before anyone notices the results. They do not expect overnight transformations because they understand that strong foundations require patience. Most people quit because they become frustrated when results are delayed. They work hard for a short period and expect life to change instantly. When progress feels slow, they assume their effort is useless. But successful people trust the process even when they cannot immediately see rewards. They continue planting seeds while others give up because nothing has grown yet. Patience allows people to stay calm during difficult seasons. Every dream goes through periods where nothing seems to work. There are moments when effort feels invisible and progress feels painfully slow. Impatient people panic during these moments. They become emotional, distracted, and discouraged. Patient people remain focused because they understand that temporary delays do not mean permanent failure. Nature itself teaches the importance of patience. A tree does not grow fully in one day. It develops gradually through time, storms, and seasons. Strong roots are built underground before visible growth appears above the surface. Success works the same way. The strongest people spend years developing skills, discipline, and character before achieving visible success. Patience also protects people from making emotional decisions. Many people destroy opportunities because they rush the process. They quit too early, chase shortcuts, or abandon goals the moment things become difficult. Successful people resist the temptation of quick rewards because they know lasting success is built slowly. In a world obsessed with speed, patience becomes a competitive advantage. While others constantly switch goals, lose focus, or seek instant gratification, patient people remain committed. They improve little by little every day. Over time, these small improvements create extraordinary results. Successful people do not compare their timeline to others. They understand that every journey is different. Comparing progress creates frustration and insecurity. Patient people focus on personal growth instead of competing with someone else's pace. They know that rushing because of comparison often leads to mistakes and burnout. Patience is closely connected to discipline. It allows people to continue working even when rewards are delayed. Many goals require years of consistent effort before success becomes visible. Businesses take time to grow. Skills take time to master. Trust takes time to build. Confidence takes time to develop. People who lack patience rarely stay committed long enough to experience these rewards. Patience also strengthens mental endurance. It teaches people how to handle uncertainty without losing hope. Life does not always provide immediate answers. Sometimes people must continue moving forward without knowing exactly when results will appear. Successful people learn how to stay focused during these uncertain moments. The strongest individuals are not always the most talented. Often, they are simply the people who stayed patient long enough to achieve what others abandoned too soon. While impatient people chase temporary excitement, patient people build permanent success step by step. Many people overestimate what they can achieve in a few weeks and underestimate what they can achieve in a few years of consistent effort. Successful people think long-term. They are willing to sacrifice immediate comfort because they understand that patience creates opportunities that impulsive decisions can never create. Every person has potential, but potential means nothing without persistence. Many people start with talent, energy, excitement, and big dreams, yet they never achieve the life they want because they quit too early. The world is filled with unfinished goals, abandoned dreams, and people who stop just before progress began to appear. Quitting early is dangerous because success often comes later than people expect. Most meaningful achievements require time, struggle, and repeated effort. But many people become discouraged during the difficult stages of the journey. They expect fast rewards, and when those rewards do not appear quickly, they assume failure is permanent. Successful people understand that progress is often invisible in the beginning. They know that growth happens slowly. A person can work hard for months or even years before seeing major results. During this period, it becomes easy to feel hopeless. Doubt grows stronger, motivation becomes weaker, and excuses become louder. This is the moment where most people quit. The tragedy is that many people stop when they are actually closer to success than they realize. They leave because they cannot yet see the outcome of their effort. They judge the process too early and assume nothing is changing. But successful people continue even when progress feels invisible because they trust that consistency eventually creates results. Quitting early destroys confidence. Every time a person gives up on themselves, they weaken their belief in their own ability to succeed. Over time, quitting becomes a habit. People begin doubting themselves before they even start new challenges because they remember all the times they stopped too soon. Success is rarely about being perfect. It is often about staying committed longer than everyone else. Many talented people fail because they quit after disappointment, while less talented people succeed simply because they kept going. Persistence creates opportunities that quitting can never produce. Challenges are part of every journey. There will always be setbacks, criticism, delays, and moments of frustration. No goal becomes reality without obstacles. The people who achieve greatness are not those who avoid struggle. They are the ones who continue despite struggle. Most people misunderstand failure. They think one bad moment means the journey is over. Successful people understand that temporary setbacks are normal. They do not allow difficult moments to become permanent decisions. Instead of quitting, they adjust, learn, and continue moving forward. Fear also causes people to quit early. Fear of judgment, rejection, embarrassment, or uncertainty can become overwhelming. People worry about what others will think if they fail. But successful people focus more on regret than fear. They know the pain of wondering, what if, is often worse than the pain of temporary failure. Quitting early also prevents growth. Difficult moments build resilience, discipline, patience, and mental toughness. If people escape every challenge, they never develop the strength needed for bigger opportunities. Growth only happens when people continue pushing through discomfort. There are moments in life where progress feels slow and exhausting. During these moments, people begin questioning whether the effort is worth it. Successful people remind themselves why they started. They reconnect with their purpose instead of surrendering to temporary emotions. Every successful person has experienced moments where quitting seemed easier than continuing. But the reason they eventually succeeded is because they stayed long enough to improve, adapt, and overcome challenges. They understood that persistence separates dreamers from achievers. Many people fail not because they lack ability, but because they stop before their abilities have time to fully develop. Talent is often admired because it looks impressive. People notice natural ability quickly. They celebrate individuals who seem gifted, intelligent, or naturally skilled. But talent alone is never enough to create long-term success. Many talented people waste their potential because they lack consistency. Successful people understand that consistency is far more powerful than talent when it comes to achieving lasting results. A talented person may start faster, but a consistent person keeps improving every single day. Over time, small daily actions become stronger than natural ability. Consistency creates habits, discipline, experience, and growth that talent alone cannot provide. Most people rely too heavily on motivation or natural skill. They perform well when they feel inspired or when things are easy. But life is not always easy. There are difficult days, exhausting moments, and periods where progress feels slow. Consistent people continue during these moments while others stop. This is why consistency eventually separates successful people from everyone else. Success is not built in one dramatic moment. It is built through repeated actions over long periods of time. Reading every day creates knowledge. Practicing every day develops skill. Exercising every day builds strength. Saving money regularly creates financial stability. The power comes from repetition, not perfection. Many talented people become lazy because things come easily to them in the beginning. They depend on ability instead of discipline. But eventually, they reach challenges where talent alone is not enough. Meanwhile, consistent people continue improving step by step. Over time, they often surpass naturally talented individuals because hard work compounds. Consistency also builds trust. When people consistently show up, others begin relying on them. Employers trust disciplined workers. Teams trust reliable leaders. Audiences trust creators who continue delivering value regularly. Consistency creates credibility because it demonstrates commitment. One of the biggest problems people face is expecting immediate results. They work hard for a short time and become discouraged when success does not happen quickly. Consistent people understand that results take time. They focus on the process instead of obsessing over immediate rewards. They trust that daily effort eventually produces meaningful outcomes. Consistency becomes especially important during difficult seasons. Anyone can work hard when they feel excited, confident, or motivated. The real test comes when energy disappears and progress slows down. Successful people continue even during boring, painful, or frustrating moments because they understand that discipline matters more than temporary emotions. Athletes become champions because of years of consistent training. Musicians master instruments through endless repetition. Writers improve through regular practice. Entrepreneurs build businesses through steady effort over time. Greatness is rarely created through occasional bursts of hard work. It is created through consistency repeated over years. Small actions may seem insignificant in the moment, but over time they become powerful. A single workout may not change the body, but years of exercise transform health completely. One productive day may not create success, but consistent productive days build extraordinary lives. Consistency also strengthens the mind. It teaches people how to stay committed even without instant rewards. Every time a person continues despite difficulty, mental toughness grows stronger. Over time, disciplined actions become automatic habits rather than painful struggles. People often underestimate the power of staying committed to simple habits. They search for secret formulas, shortcuts, or dramatic changes while ignoring the importance of daily discipline. Successful people understand that ordinary actions repeated consistently create extraordinary outcomes. Talent may create opportunities in the beginning, but consistency determines who survives, grows, and successful people think differently from most people when it comes to comfort. Average people often make decisions based on what feels easy, safe, and comfortable in the moment. They avoid discomfort, difficult conversations, sacrifice, and uncertainty because comfort gives temporary peace. But successful people focus on something bigger than temporary feelings. They focus on purpose. Purpose gives people direction. It gives meaning to struggle and strength during difficult times. When a person knows why they are doing something, they become willing to endure discomfort to achieve it. Successful people understand that comfort can become dangerous if it prevents growth. Comfort zones feel safe because they protect people from fear and failure. Inside a comfort zone, there is little risk, little pressure, and little uncertainty. But there is also very little growth. People who stay comfortable too long often remain stuck in the same place for years. They dream about better lives, but avoid the actions required to create them. Successful people are willing to experience temporary discomfort because their purpose matters more than convenience. They wake up early when they do not feel like it. They continue working when they are tired. They make sacrifices others avoid because they are focused on long-term goals rather than short-term pleasure. Purpose creates endurance. Without purpose, people quit quickly when life becomes difficult. The moment pain appears, they lose motivation because they were only chasing comfort. But when a person is deeply connected to a meaningful goal, they develop the ability to continue even during struggle. Many people spend their lives searching for comfort instead of fulfillment. They choose easy routines, avoid challenges, and settle for average results because change feels uncomfortable. Successful people understand that almost every meaningful achievement requires discomfort. Building a business is uncomfortable. Developing discipline is uncomfortable. Learning new skills is uncomfortable. Personal growth always demands sacrifice. Comfort also creates complacency. When people become too comfortable, they stop improving. They stop taking risks, learning, and challenging themselves. Over time, comfort slowly destroys ambition. Successful people avoid becoming trapped in this mindset because they know growth only happens when people push beyond familiar limits. Purpose helps successful people stay focused during difficult seasons. There are moments when exhaustion, criticism, failure, or loneliness make quitting seem easier. During those moments, purpose becomes stronger than emotion. A person driven by purpose does not rely only on motivation. They continue because they know their mission matters. People who focus only on comfort often choose temporary happiness over long-term success. They avoid difficult work, delay responsibilities, and chase distractions that provide instant pleasure. But temporary comfort usually creates future regret. Successful people are willing to suffer temporarily so they can build a better future for themselves and others. Purpose also creates discipline. When people understand the deeper reason behind their actions, they become more committed. A person with purpose does not need constant external motivation because their mission already drives them internally. They understand what they are fighting for. The strongest individuals are not always the most talented or intelligent. Often, they are simply the people who stayed committed to their purpose, while others became distracted by comfort. They accepted difficult moments because they understood that meaningful success requires sacrifice. Every major achievement demands a choice between comfort and growth. Successful people repeatedly choose growth. They understand that comfort may feel good today, but purpose creates a life filled with meaning, impact, and long-term fulfillment. That is why success